Let's head back to the voicemail of Truth and Reason.
Hey, Dave, Frank from Cleveland. Now what? We got this guy with domestic violence. They wanted to hang Shador for having 2 speeding tickets. What do they want to do with this guy? Bury him under the stadium? Let me know what your thoughts on. But don't they do some background checks? Is this the first time this guy's ever been in trouble or anything? And I love you, brother, and I'll be in touch. I'm very disappointed.
As always, appreciate all of the voicemails. Let's welcome in Chris Easterling, Browns beat reporter for the Akron Beacon-Journal. Chris, they do background checks, but man, this is it's a recurring theme as of late.
Yeah, and it's the thing that, look, whatever happens in the courts with this thing, it's going to play out, and we'll see where it goes. Obviously, the allegations are, if they're true, they're not good. Includes closed fist punch to the face allegedly, and other things like that. But it is just, the thing is, like, you didn't with specifically with Quinshawn, you hadn't heard any of these red flags. Now, at least publicly. So I don't know what other background checks that may have shown, but I know from what I had heard, up until this point, I hadn't heard something quite like this. But as a whole, it is every off season now we have dealt with some Browns player getting involved in specifically domestic violence. You had Perry and Winfrey two off seasons ago, where there were multiple occurrences, which ultimately led to him being cut. Last off season, it wasn't even off season; it was on an off day during training camp in August with Mike Hall, their second round pick out of Ohio State, and then back in May it was Devin Bush and outside Pittsburgh. He has he's still involved in a domestic violence case that's ongoing. I think he has a hearing this Friday, and now you have this situation with Quinshon Judkins. And yeah, I think you have to ask the question: is, look, you can't hold their hand, and some again, like I say, you hadn't heard anything like this with Quinshon coming into going through the draft process or anything, but at the same time, somehow you have to get the message out there, because you just don't see this with other franchises. You just don't. You would hear more about a player getting arrested, players getting arrested and everything, but with this franchise, it's just every offseason again, it's something like this that they're dealing with and having to answer questions about. And at some point, I think the organization has to, I don't know what they can do, I'll be perfectly honest, but there has to be something. They talk about being accountable. Well, what's the accountability here? Because it just continues to happen.
Yeah, and I get the whole second chances and Andrew Berry. Andrew Berry's a decent guy. I truly believe that. But at some point, this has got to stop. I mean, it's like you said, it's every year, and it's multiple times in the year. So again, we'll let the legal process play out, but it certainly doesn't sound great.